We got our music playing. Everybody can hear us bebopping. Hey, Jack and GT back here from Something's Brewing. Today, we even got a guest. Somebody actually showed up and wants to talk to us. This here's Scott from Evans Brewing, one of GT's buddies out there. I know that's hard to believe, but Greg does have a friend or two out there now and then. Scott's filling in this week. Bon Jovi was supposed to be here, but he couldn't show up or wouldn't show up or something like that. And actually, Scott was supposed to be here last week, but GT punted him off because that's the kind of friend he is. He's a prick. But anyway, he's here this week. And, well, GT, want to tell us a little bit about Scott, how you met him, and then kind of we'll get going from here?
I've had a few contract brewers for Prison Break, and they weren't working out real good. So I came down and met him, and as soon as I met him, everything it felt right. He gives me great prices. Actually, I, I mean, he enabled us to keep going while we're struggling a little. And because of him, now I have 4 beers instead of one. A lot of things. So it works out good.
It's a nice looking place you got, Scott.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah,
How long you been doing this?
we have been doing this for 15 years.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
well, we just had our 15th anniversary last month. We had a
Really?
big party here. It was Greg didn't come because he's that kind of
Because he
friend, but
because he didn't tell me about it. That's why he didn't invite me.
That's catching on quick. I'll tell you what, you got it. Let me ask, 15 years that I'll be right up front about the craft beer thing is new to me just since Greg had this idea back in the joint. And so when you say 15 years, I didn't even thought about that, 15 years ago, but it's been around quite a while. So since you started, would you say, and I'm just going to jump a couple questions, might not be in order here, don't make any difference. Since you started, do you think the business has gotten better, worse, tougher? What the hell's going on in the craft beer world?
well, I mean, everything's tougher when you've been in for 15 years because you can drink a lot more, and those hangovers are
That's good.
yeah,
It would have been a letdown to all the people if you didn't say you drank a lot because they go, "Why the hell?" I don't want these things. I just did this for a passion. I want the guy, so I did this. I wanted to drink.
yeah. I mean, the industry's always changing, though, for real. It goes up and down. It's cyclical. You got good years, you got bad years. You just have to. The whole goal is to just try to stay in the middle while it's going up, and don't get too excited when it's going up, and don't get too bummed out when it's down. You just kind of stick to your guns, and make sure you don't spend too much, and just kind of hold everything close to the chest. You can make a lot of money brewing, and you can lose a lot of money brewing real fast. So it comes and goes quick. So if you just stay middle of the road, I mean, we've been lucky. We've been very unlucky too, but we've been lucky overall. And yeah, we just we don't do anything too crazy anymore. We learned a lot of lessons over the past 15 years.
But you're
A lot of mistakes.
still breathing and still kicking, and I see some people aren't in that business. And I'm just going to say that I've read a lot of people said a lot of guys, well, I was in the corporate world, so I quit. This was my dream. I didn't want to work at the factory. This was my dream. A lot of those guys don't seem to make it. It's a little bit more than a dream, I think, isn't it? It's work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot. A lot of people make really good beer. A lot of people make really good beer at home. Great home brewers. Great professional brewers too. That doesn't necessarily translate into business, and on actually how to actually operate a business. But and then it goes the other way around. Like I'm not a good brewer, and I don't know if I'm a good business operator either. But I'm not a good brewer. We got Brian, who's our head brewer. He's a partner here, and but you just have to make sure that you have the pieces in the that fit the right part of the puzzle. And like I said, we've gotten lucky. We've gotten very lucky. Also luck is definitely part of it, but we definitely work hard, and we have, the biggest thing that we push here, the number one thing is if we're not having fun, why are we here? You can make a lot more money every day, if you worked at FedEx or UPS or something like that, it's just as hard as work. It's just as hard. But we get to drink beer when it really sucks, and we get to drink beer when it's really fun. So, and
Well, you're
we
kind of in
keep
the,
that mentality.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but you're
No, you're
kind of
good.
in the center of I mean, from what I see, your area, California, that's you guys, craft beer is a huge thing out there. I'm here in Iowa. Hell, we got some here. It's all shit. It is.
Yeah,
We have a
yeah,
lot of guys who they left the farm and the beer tastes like freshly mowed grass in Granny's attic. And the biggest beer it sells here is Gable because you have to buy it because Dan Gable's from here. If you don't buy it, you're a communist. So I drink it 'cause I want to be a
Uh,
communist. Yeah, but and our beer is better, I think, and maybe I'm a little, but I think it is. I mean, I've had
Oh,
people here
your beer's great.
and they tell me it's better, and Greg knows I've never been a big craft beer guy at all. But my question I was going to, so you're right there in the hub of this whole thing, really, where you are in California. Is there a lot of places out there? I mean, what's it look like the landscape? Are they still building? Is it trying to grow through this?
Well, we're in a weird spot right now. I mean, there's definitely a lot of breweries closing. There's a more than I feel like normal, like typically when it's slow closing all at once. Um, but there's also ones opening every day, yeah, a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of scary news out there. And if you're struggling right now, if you're struggling and then all you're doing is reading bad news and you're in a little bit of debt or you're in debt, I mean, I don't know why it'd be really tough for me to keep going, like if everything was stacked against you, like the world says it is or whatever, but I just think a lot of people are pulling the plug partly because of that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. There's people that don't make good beer, and if you don't make good beer and that's the only product you sell, then you're not destined for greatness, you know.
but you can make money at it.
You can make money
They
at it.
can make money off
Yeah.
their tap room. I've been around, Jack. Because I went out selling beer, and I've been to a lot of the breweries, and I got to admit, for the overall product line, you guys might have the best, Scott. You're close. There's guys who make better IPAs. Have one beer that's better than their IPA. But if you really take it into a whole cohesive thing with the seltzers and stuff, Scott and them have really good product. It's easy for me to sell because it tastes good. Scott also makes his beer cheap. He doesn't have too much labor. He has a bigger outfit. A lot of these breweries are 10 and 15 barrel, and it's all hand. It's everything's hand, and Scott's got a nice little. He's got his figured out, and he's got a centrifuge, which almost nobody has. They're $250,000. So, and that's what makes Shank take better is having a centrifuge. And he's a fun guy. Well, he used to be, but now he's got a girlfriend now. I never see him anymore. I don't blame him though.
I see it
I
every
think it's
week.
the first. I think it's the first time he's had sex without cash changing hands. So, so
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Who told on me? Who told on me?
Is that something Greg
Yeah.
ain't got to worry about having a woman hanging around? I guess like
No,
women,
Yeah.
he's like women
It sounds.
repellent. But
Yeah. Do I hear a little jealousy in his voice? I think
no,
that's what I
I
hear. A
am
little
jealous.
jealousy.
Oh, I'm definitely jealous,
I saw
man.
the Irish coming out at him on that, but all
Yeah,
turned green. But well, how many
I
people work
can't
with
even afford lotion anymore.
not the good kind anyway?
Yeah.
How much prices are going up now? What? But
Yeah.
so how many people work with you, Scott?
So right now we have two people dedicated in the brewery. At all, that's it. We have a third person that comes in. We have two full-time employees. Brian, our brewer, like I said, he's a partner here. And then we have Christian, who's our assistant brewer. They're like the backbone. And then we've got our sales manager, Victor, who Mondays and Fridays he helps out in the brewery, and he'll wash kegs. And then we've got another guy, Isaiah, that he washes kegs a couple days a week whenever we really need it. And that's about it. I'll go in there and help can, and I'm pretty useless on some of that stuff sometimes, but I'm an extra pair of hands. But that's it. Most breweries, I mean, I do all the bookkeeping, I do all the paperwork, I do all the super fun stuff. But excuse me, we were drinking beers before this, trying to loosen me. This is my first ever podcast, so
Really?
kind of nervous.
And I know you're the heavyweights right away, so don't get nervous.
Yeah, you just try to drink the heavy stuff, yeah. But most breweries our size will have at least 4 or 5 people in the back. The only way we're really able to compete right now and pick up our volumes is by producing cheaper beer, which our number one expense besides utilities and rent is labor. And so we've cut that down. Everybody makes a higher wage here, but there's only 2 people full time. We're about ready to bring in a third full time person because we're getting really busy going into summer. But if these guys can handle it, if we can handle it with what we are, we all make more money, and that's ultimately the goal.
So you service like how many places then?
We just passed 450 accounts like a couple weeks ago.
That's great.
And
Yeah, all
they were at
California.
what, 100 last year?
We were at 61.
61.
Really?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
hired a salesperson, Victor, and Victor's a good
So
salesperson.
so
Victor's
that
a maniac.
really
Yeah.
that really is a big difference maker and getting a sales guy out there.
Getting a sales guy out there and, just having someone dedicated, you have to know I've been doing this. We've had 15 sales guys and they've all been pretty good. But they've all been really good. Where we have failed as a company is we didn't direct them enough. So before we brought in another new sales rep, Victor this time, because we didn't have a sales rep for about a year. Before we brought in a new sales rep, we made sure we knew what our sales direction was. We knew where we wanted to go with it. We knew how we want. Doing sales, driving around doing sales is so tough. You're getting not no's 90% of the time, and it takes a real special person. And so we've changed where we've targeted. We're not going for every bar now. We're going for select key accounts, and we're trying to make them partners rather than just like we need 7 handles in the city. It's like, no, we need one really good partner that's going to move volume, and it'll be easy for us to service them and just kind of keep it flowing. So and then you couple that with Victor, who's a maniac, and with a good sales direction, and you got a maniac on the road. It's kind of like a no-brainer. I mean, it's just been he's doing pretty dang good. We're pretty stoked.
Sounds like you're
Yeah,
doing really well. So
yeah.
how does maybe you can't answer this, that'd be a question for him, but how do you guys decide if you're going to hit a place or not and try to make approach on?
So our target is we like to target higher end restaurants. That's kind of our whole thing is higher end restaurants, higher end liquor stores. Thank you. Greg got me a fresh beer. What a nice
I'd like
guy.
to point out we are a full service.
It's
We
great.
take
I'm ready to go.
Greg
I
came
didn't
all
know
the
he
way
knew
to
how
the
to
other
pour beer.
side of the building to do that shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so you target like restaurants. Is that your big thing or?
Restaurants is our big thing right now. Yeah, we're actually not in that many liquor stores. We just got approved for Vaughn's, Albertsons, Pavilions, which is a chain out in California. Grocery stores. That's going pretty good. We're in Bevmo and Total Wine, but the majority, like the lion's share of our accounts, is restaurants. And like I said, we're trying to target venues and higher end places. They're way harder to get into, but when you get into them, they're way harder to you don't lose a handle as much as long as the beer's performing. If it's not performing, you're screwed. But if the beer's performing, it's priced right. I mean, it's a no-brainer for the restaurant or venue or whatever.
Let me ask you something. This is kind of, I remember, I don't know what kind of people drink craft beer out there, but I remember when people drank craft beer were just, kind of sissified and pricky, And then a while back, I was down in Iowa City, which is a college town, see this old guy in coveralls with skull running down his chin, throwing down, Tip the Cow, which is a popular craft beer around here. So they've changed. So do you guys get, I guess the question, do you guys get all kinds of beer drinkers? And here's the way I ask it, because I know craft beer drinkers will order one kind of beer, and then the next round they'll order another kind of beer. And I've never seen a Budweiser drinker do that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, it's yeah. If you drink Bud Light or Coors Light, I mean, you're usually pretty. That's kind of you're setting that. That's kind of your.
That's
Yeah.
what you drink.
Yeah. I mean, I still drink them. I still drink Coors Light. I love Coors Light. But yeah, I mean, we get a little bit of everything here. I mean, we're in Corona, so it's mostly families. It's mostly like right after like 3 o'clock when we open. It's blue collar workers, people getting off work, and then 6 o'clock rolls around and it's all families. But the scene's pretty wide open. It goes up and down. A lot of people are chasing fads. So Radlers are big. Radlers are going to be big this summer, which is pretty much fruit juice and a beer. So that'll be big this summer. I mean, they're starting to pop up everywhere and people are asking for them. When you see something cool come out, like a smoothie seltzer or one of those smoothie IPAs, you'll see it brings out a lot of people that don't normally drink beer. But yeah, it's all over the place.
So do you guys, I don't know how this is, adapt your own formulas and come up with your own beers then too? Do you have someone you buy formulas from, or how do you do that?
No, no. Brian makes all the recipes pretty much. I mean, yeah, he does. He makes all the recipes. I think Christian's made a few. Our assistant brewer. I've ruined a few. But no, Brian's definitely. Yeah,
How
he
the
makes
hell
them
do
all.
they do that? They just sit around tasting shit till it comes right, they think, or they start dipping ice cream in there and salt and pepper, or
I
what?
I don't. I really don't know how he does it. He just does it.
He's,
He just.
I know how he does it. He smokes some weed and he starts thinking about, yeah. And Brian knows so much so that he knows how something's going to taste by what kind of hops he uses, what kind of grain, what kind of yeast he uses. He just knows, and it's kind of funny. Now Scott has also, besides Prison Break, he has how many other contract brewers you have?
So right now we only have one other one
One
right now,
other,
but
but
we were bouncing around, but yeah,
yeah,
that comes in waves too.
yeah. Well, now when he brews for other people, they bring their recipes, and most of the time they have a known beer, and it grows outside their little capacity, and Scott can make it for them at a fixed price that they can make money at.
Yeah, yeah, we
So
usually
somebody
make it.
comes in there then. Go ahead, Scott. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
Oh no,
ahead.
oh no, no. I was just saying we try to make all of our pricing as competitive as possible.
So your operation, somebody comes in there and they need, I don't even know how much beer they need. How quick can you switch over and start making their beer for them if they, I don't know, is it pretty
If there's
fast?
Yeah, if there's a tank open, we can do it tomorrow. As long as if we have the grain and the hops and the yeast, we've got the water. Yeah, it's as quick as we can get the ingredients and the tank opens up. We've got limited tank space, but I mean, it's usually within like a week we throw it in. Like when Greg places an order, it's within a week we throw
Yeah.
it in, and then his beer takes a couple weeks. So, and then he
Is that
comes by every
standard?
week and
Because I
what'd
had
you say?
people, I had some questions from people back when I work at, and I worked out at this hospital. And I got some dudes down there. They drink crap beer and stuff, and we were talking about this. But what is there a standard time period for like a beer to be made? I understand you got the lagers, you got the IPAs and that stuff. Can you just a short little, or just tell me how the hell it works?
I mean, the safe bet's 2 to 3 weeks on most styles. You can get some faster. There's stuff you can put in beers now, like compounds, different nutrients that you can put in beers to speed stuff up. But yeah, typically like 2 to 3 weeks. Our lager is 6 weeks. Our Mexican lager is 6 weeks. Our IPA is 13 days. Our hazy's 11 days. Um our honey blonde's 14 days. But it's all right in that window.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's
It's
about
funny
two,
the
two, three.
Mexican lagers take longer, and I don't know why. Every
All
place has
most
told me that.
lagers, yeah,
Yeah,
lagers take forever.
yeah.
Well, it's an off flavor, so the longer they sit, the more the off flavors go away. So you want it to like
There you go.
sit ice cold and let everything just kind of dissipate. Not smell all sulfury and yeah, 2 to 3 weeks.
So how much you guys? What's your capacity?
About 22 to 24,000 barrels a year.
Really?
So yeah,
Damn.
yeah. And right now we're only at. Last year we did, or this year we're projected to do about probably 10. Right about 10. If it goes at the same rate, I mean, it could slow down, it could pick up, it could, but if it stays at the same rate, we'll do right around 10. And last year we did 4. So, um,
Do you have any plans yourself for expanding beyond your operation now, or is this a wait and see thing? What's going to be happening? Because no one knows. I mean, and you can talk about
yeah.
tariffs anything you want to, but who the hell knows? Because there's always inflation, whether people want to admit it or not. There's always something going on price wise. Does that have an impact on what your thought is, or maybe you don't have any plans for that?
No, I mean we do, but it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Is like, okay, times are, I'm not gonna say they're good, but they're okay for us right now. And now would be the time to open a restaurant. But what if it tanks? I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. What if it tanks at the end of the year and we open up a new restaurant and because we want to open like a deli kind of situation, tap room and deli. But we've talked about it for about 2 years. But I don't know if the right opportunity comes, we will do it. But I just don't want to get into a spot where I'm massive. We're finally out of debt. We're virtually out of debt. We're debt free. And I
Good.
don't want to get right back into a spot where, yeah, it's taken us 15 years, but yeah, we're virtually debt free. But
Still pretty
Uh,
damn good for any business structure in 15 years.
yeah,
That's all
yeah,
it took.
it feels good. We have a little bit of tax debt, but no, everybody does. But yeah, no, we're pretty much debt free. And I don't know if I want to go back in the hole just yet. Maybe ride this feeling out for a little bit of like, all right, you know,
Well, it's funny. Me and Scott were talking about it last week. He was looking at opening, well, a deli, but mostly that means a tap room. He's not going to make a lot of money off the sandwiches. He's going to make money off selling beer. And and he had a good spot over in Orange County and everything. And I said, the only thing is, man, you're going to have to live over there to make it work. And you got to have a principle when you're starting a new business. Jack, like you would have to do it, I would have to do it, or Scott has to do it. You can't start a new business and say, "Hey, go take care of it," or it probably will fail. And I think that's more of a thing, actually, maybe than the investment in some ways, as the time. And he would have to take time away from here, and this place might suffer.
yeah, that's also a big. Yeah, that's a good point. That's also a big thing is where do I focus? Yeah, focusing my energy on that, and I don't know. It's all up in the air. It's all up in the air. Who knows?
But you're in a good
My ma-
position. If you don't
yeah,
have that debt hanging there, it'd probably be a good time to wait and see
yeah,
what happens.
It
yeah.
doesn't matter anyways, Jack, because Trump is president now, and the cash is going to be raining down inside this building. I don't know. I think they might. I think they might dump it. They might just dump it in dump trucks out here, right out in front of his place.
Well, I will not. I will not turn that down. If we can
No,
make
I
them
won't turn it
hundreds
down either.
large bills, so it's easier to carry.
We
Well,
were just discussing. We were having our weekly go at me and Scott about the. He drinks a lot of the Kool-Aid, and I just sip it. He gulps it down, and so we have to go through that every week, man. He likes that Trump flavored
You're like
Kool-Aid.
you're the Kool-Aid man when you walk in here. You bust in here, you start yelling. It's like you're the Kool-Aid man.
Oh
you gotta
God,
watch
that's
it. You got all
funny.
these left-wing liberals hanging around there all the time. He doesn't have a woman. He doesn't have a woman to talk to. What do you expect?
I know. He's crazy. He comes in here just fired off. It's we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of
How do
fun.
you got fun with it and stuff there?
And that's the whole point of what we're doing here is that's the whole point. I stress this almost every day to everybody here is what's the point? Like you can go work at a job you don't like, or you can work here. So, have a good attitude. We're here to have fun. We're here to have fun. We started this business for two reasons: to have fun and to, tell big
Make good beer.
corporations to F off. Like we can make good beer and we can make it local and, it's not full of corn syrup and rice and just crap, we use only American made malt. We use fresh hops, fresh yeast on every, fresh pitch on every batch. Like we do everything proper because we're like, hey, we drink it. I don't want to drink crap. I don't,
Yeah.
I do drink crap though. I do drink light beer all the time. And not saying it's crap, but it's crap. I drink it. It's good.
Well, that brought me to my
There's a
next
lot of
question.
crap.
Do you have like regular? I mean, do you have regulars? You have guys you see all the time, or gals you see all the time stop in?
Yeah, we had a problem with two of them last night, but yeah. We got the same. That's the thing about Corona is it's the same people every day, and because it's a pass through city. It's not like where we're at. We're in a very industrial area, so you got to people are passing by and come in. We get a lot of people after work, and then there's a handful of homes in the area and all those people come at night. But yeah, we rarely get new people. It's the same people every day, which is good. We have a very high return rate.
Well, that's the whole thing.
But
That,
yeah,
that shows that your product has to be good. Otherwise, they ain't coming back. I ain't coming back
yeah.
because I don't like it.
No,
I
me
mean, that's
neither. Yeah,
the nature of the beast. It's like a restaurant or anything else. If shit ain't good, we see you.
yeah,
So obviously
yeah.
you got good stuff. And the fact that I can go back to your debt free now, you've done pretty well with that. So you must have good stuff going. And that makes it more fun too, because you get to know the people.
Until they start getting too crazy, they act like they own the place. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like this guy over
They
here.
come behind the bar and pour. They come behind the bar and pour beers. Oh wait, did I just do that?
Why are you the one in front of the Evans sign?
I know I should be over there, huh? Because you wouldn't get me a fucking beer. That's why.
I don't know about that, but I poured you your first one.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of questions. GT, one thing we'll throw out there, Scott, while we're here.
This is my favorite place to come hang out. Usually when I leave here, usually high, and just it's miserable. I forget something, and I don't know. I think it's part of their hustle. It makes me forget when they're not doing what I asked them to do. I would love to work at a place like this when I was young.
Oh, thank you.
They're good dudes. When I first met Scott, something about it, me and him clicked, and we felt comfortable with each other, and he's helped Prison Break out immensely. In
I'm
fact,
very
he's
well
got a
aware.
spot downstairs that I'm trying to get into and open another tap room, and hopefully our little YouTube thing will take off, and we can bring more people here from a different area, because he's right. He's in an odd area that's very industrial, so he gets the regulars, but he'd like to make it more of a destination spot because it's really nice. This is a
That's a
nice
nice little
spot.
place. I can see that.
It's a cool spot. Yeah.
Scott, you've done the place is super nice looking. I mean, it really is. It's as good as any place around here. And glad things are going that well. Like I said, you had a good product, you had a good business. You're an enjoyable guy to talk to. I don't know what the hell you're doing letting that guy. You got to get the electrical people out, otherwise you'll have problems.
I know. Well, I was going to ask you how was it spending time locked in a cage with him? You know, that must have been
Oh my
crazy.
God. I'm going to try and come out late this summer, and I'll tell you some shit we haven't even put on YouTube yet because I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. You think, yeah,
Jack, you know I was the nicest guy in there. Quit it.
yeah, he was. Yeah, I had a little office.
Oh, he's a good
sometimes.
guy. He's a good guy.
We had to stop him choking some guy out in the office. We're trying to do some work in there, and and stuff like that. Normal things.
That was just him flirting, though. You just walked in on some foreplay. That's what that was.
That's all that was. Yeah, I thought.
That is prison foreplay, actually. Yeah. Let me choke you for a minute here. Yeah. See if something works out.
See, yeah.
You never know. That's for damn sure. Anyway, well, guys, I don't have
if you don't mind them passed out,
We never have to edit anything out on account of him on this either.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scott, I appreciate talking to you. I like the place, and it looks good. Greg, anything else before we shut her down?
No, that'll do it, man.
You did a great job, GT. I appreciate all your help here. But Scott, really, thank you. And we tell everybody who's watching this, reach down, subscribe, give us a like or something like this here. We'll be talking to Scott again. In fact, we'll be doing something live with me coming out this summer and talking. We'll be hanging out there. I'm looking forward to that. But GT here from Something's Brewing. Scott from Evans Brewing out there in California. He's the big
Corona,
dog.
California.
Yeah, without Scott, we ain't getting this done. So we were very grateful to him. We'll see everybody next week.